texting. And I'm like, you have text?
Yeah, that is,
you know?
It seems a little contrived that way, right?
Yeah. But I also, like, I love documentary, and I think
Oh, me too.
Really?
I love documentaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the reason is because my style of reality TV, I don't watch reality TV in general.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't love what it's become.
Mm-hmm.
No offense.
No, I'm not offended.
I imagine you're a huge Bravo fan.
No, I am not.
I'm kidding.
My wife is.
Oh, really?
Well, she likes.
Yeah, mine too.
She used to watch a lot of we should introduce them to each other.
Yeah, totally.
She does a lot of the, she used to do like the Real Housewives.
Sure.
Just like when she's like.
Yeah.
Doing mindless stuff around the house.
Right.
But I will say we do like The Bachelor.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I can get roped in. Like, they know what they're doing.
Oh, they do know, yeah.
It's...
Like, she'll be like, want to watch The Bachelor? I'll be like, no, I want to do something meaningful with my life. I want to read a book I've had for... And then I'm like, whoa. I'm like, we need to watch The Bachelor
I
tonight.
know. Well, it's like... Basically Shakespeare.
Oh my gosh.
It's amazing. But
it's
anyway.
So good. All right, let me do a quick intro for you first.
Oh God.
Because we've kind of started.
Yeah.
But I want to. This is Liz Glazer, everybody. She's a comedian.
Huh?
But she's a writer.
That's my ride.
That's Hold on. I want to read a little bit of your bio.
Okay.
I usually just have it memorized, but this was just, you're way too impressive to just like skim this. Okay. And I'm sorry this is embarrassing to you.
When you hear a siren, do you also think you're getting arrested?
Well, it depends where I am and what I'm doing.
Okay, right here, right now.
No, I'm okay. I think I'm okay. But there have been times before, especially at airports. So you attended the University of Pennsylvania. You got your BA, magna cum laude at MA, and MA.
I love when it smells like laundry.
In philosophy. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you attended the University of Chicago Law School.
Yeah.
Were you a member of the Law Review, which sounds like a cool group of people?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Okay, you can keep going if you want, but I'm going to undercut it.
I got to keep going.
After.
Okay.
Fine.
And then you were a transactional real estate lawyer.
Sure.
At a big firm in New York.
Yep.
Then you went on to teach, and you were a tenured professor at Hofstra University.
Yep.
Okay. And then you've been invited, you've been a guest lecturer at like Northwestern, Loyola University.
Yeah.
Why are you on this podcast?
First of all, this is more impressive than all of them, Marcus.
You've done some really cool stuff, and you're way too smart to be on this show.
Oh, God. Okay.
Oh, my God.
I don't think, I mean, here's the thing, is like, I understand, obviously, like, the reason don't fall into a bush.
Thank you.
Or do.
Hey.
I mean, clowning. So.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh,
and aside from that, you won the Boston Comedy Festival.
Sure.
You competed in the Seattle Comedy Festival.
Yeah, I didn't win that.
You're writing a TV show based on your life, which I think is a good idea.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So like, there's a lot.
Yeah.
You got a lot of things going on.
Sure. Yeah, and also like mostly what's in my head is like about the correspondence I now have with Spot Hero around the spot. Well, because first of all, the thing that I was going to say.
Please.
At the beginning.
Please.
That I didn't want to spoil is we were meeting at my high school.
Right. Well, she's out of school now.
Right. Just graduated yesterday.
She's doing it in reverse. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
it was just an impressive building. I went to college at Marymount, which is over here.
Oh, you did? Oh, cool. Yeah, I know someone who went there too.
Yeah.
Cool. So also very talented. And what do you call it? But I was like running late because I couldn't find a spot.
Oh,
and
I
then
hate that.
I was trying to what do you call it? Like get a Spot Hero. Do you ever do,
Oh, sure. Yeah. We've gotten parking. Is terrible.
I know.
Especially when you have like you're meeting someone and you get all stressed.
I know.
And I hope you know I was cool.
No, I figure, but I still feel bad.
I don't feel bad. I mean, like,
I always
where are you coming from? Where are you driving?
Jersey.
So
yeah. So there wasn't really another way. But whatever. And it was a good deal.
Oh, good.
$25.
Not bad.
Yeah. And then I show up and they're full.
Oh.
Which is like, I mean, that's life. But and there was another place across the street, but I was like, I have to call Spot Hero right away.
Yes.
Because I have to say what happened and whatever. Turns out they're like, we're canceling the reservation,
Yeah.
but also they'll credit me
Ooh.
if I have to pay more across the street. So
That's very nice.
plug for Spot Hero.
That's really cool. I remember my wife and I used this like reserved a spot. We rented a car.
Yeah.
And it was like too late. We actually drove from Wisconsin to New York all at once. And then it was like midnight. We returned the car.
Okay.
She bought a spot across the street from our apartment.
Yeah.
And the garage was full.
Oh.
We're like, but we reserved a spot. They're
Right,
like, oh, we don't have one for you.
Yeah.
And the company we used like wasn't going to refund us.
Oh, really?
I was like, but there was no spot.
That's like, okay, so I'm a lawyer.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Getting
call. I'm
back.
calling you next time.
Well,
yeah.
no, but I'm saying, like, when I think of the actual work that I can do effectively as a lawyer, I don't even think about law school. I think of like how my mother, who's a teacher,
Oh yeah.
taught me how to return stuff.
Oh, she taught you how to do that?
Yeah, that was like the first thing I learned how to do as
That's
a kid.
pretty cool.
I guess.
My wife is the queen of returns.
Yeah, totally.
She orders a bunch of stuff, returns all the time.
Right.
But
Yeah.
What like so? You grew up in Jersey?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, land of returns, a lot of malls.
A lot of malls.
Yeah.
There's some really good, nice ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah, and upstate New York's got some good ones. Albany's got a good
Oh.
mall.
Oh, really? We can go here.
Sure.
Why not?
I like 72nd Street. We're on the
Why
Upper East
not?
Side.
72nd.
So you went to this high school.
I did.
And for
Yeah.
the people, what was the name of it?
Ramaz,
Ramaz. Okay.
the Jewish day school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could tell.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Israel flags around.
Yes, totally.
And
Yeah.
and I think you had mentioned that earlier as well.
Yeah.
What was that like going to high school in the city?
I mean, well, in freshman year,
Yeah.
so I was coming from New Jersey.
Yeah.
And was
you commute
also-
every morning?
Yeah, there was
Oh,
a
dang.
school bus. Yeah.
Whoa.
It was a real meditative time for me,
Why
to
do you
be
mean?
honest. Well, because I was first on and last off the bus.
Ah.
And I really began to enjoy it.
Ah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I have that tendency, I would say, to like if something's like, ugh, then I want to find a way to make it like, it's good.
Right.
You know, just because it's happening.
Right. Yeah.
But sometimes it's hard.
Oh, it is very. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I did genuinely love the school bus.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I slept, but also thought.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
sense.
I wasn't cool at all.
In school?
growing up.
Not
Yeah,
cool?
No, not at all. But and also like that high school, which is on the Upper East Side.
Yeah.
It's like the people who were cool there
Yeah.
were like really cool.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Because they had like families that were like
Yeah.
cool.
It's like, you know, not to name drop.
Please, name drop.
So, oh good, this is Xing it out for sound,
Oh,
but
it's probably.
but you know Natasha Lyonne?
Yeah.
So she was in my grade.
Whoa.
Yeah. And we weren't friends. There was one time, because she was like kind of famous then too.
Was she really?
Yeah. Well,
From
she
what? Was
she
she in a
did,
show
like,
or something?
Dennis the Menace, but she was just like
Ah.
whatever. I mean, we all saw American Pie
Yeah.
when it came out, like everybody did.
Oh, was she in high school then?
Yeah,
She was in high school when American Pie came out?
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah, because we were there. We saw it in high school.
Incredible.
But anyway, like that was her character. Her character in American Pie was like, I mean, at least how I'm not saying I know her well enough to know like
Yeah.
that's what she's really like or not because we weren't friends.
Yeah.
But it was like dead on.
Who
And-
wow.
Yeah. There's no one else.
No one else?
famous.
Okay, I was
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
ask.
it wasn't like a performing arts school or anything
Oh,
like that.
okay.
Yeah, but anyway, I say that because it's like, I don't know. I kind of think like that's a cool person.
Yeah.
So, and I was like nowhere near cool.
Well,
But, oh yeah, so what I was going to say just as a complete answer is that it was tough, like especially freshman year, because I was like, I'm such a nerd, and I'm coming from New Jersey.
oh, I see.
You know?
I see.
Yeah.
So you were like kind of like a transplant, it felt like, right?
Yeah. Oh, but the one Natasha story that was funny.
Oh, yeah, I want a Natasha
is just
story.
that she sat next to me in like English class, and we had vocab books, and I was like, "Hey, can you sign this?" Because I was trying to be subtle, and
Yeah.
then she signed my name.
That's funny. Do you still have it?
Probably not.
Have you seen her since you've been to school with her?
Yeah, once at Soul Cycle.
Really? Did you say hi?
Yeah.
Does she remember you?
Arguably, maybe. I don't think so.
I'm sure she did.
I don't know. She thought it was weird and she was right.
She said that?
No, but I felt it.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to be like,
Let's go to the park.
we were
You wanna go to
friends.
the park?
Yeah, let's go to the park.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I went to school. First of all, you're cool. I think you're cool.
Thanks, I think you're cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Just for the record. And,
The record so reflects.
I was never like, I don't know. I don't like to think of myself. I was like never a popular kid.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like homecoming king once or something.
Oh, well, that's cool.
But my dad was the principal, so there might have been some.
I could see that going either way, though.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
Yeah.
I went to school with some famous people.
Okay.
Well, I went to college
All right.
at Marymount.
Oh, sure.
Alexandra Daddario was in my grade.
Okay.
We auditioned for the school at the same time.
Uh-huh.
You know who she is? She was in the Baywatch movie. She was in like.
Okay.
She's in a ton of stuff.
Cool.
She was in True Detectives.
Oh, wow. I don't know who a lot of people
Oh,
are.
okay. And
Yeah,
Annalie
so-
Ashford.
Oh, I've heard that
She's
name.
a like Broadway actress, but she's been on
Okay.
some TV shows.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's kind of. I think that's.
Yeah.
There might be some more. Abby
Sure.
Elliott.
Okay.
She was on SNL.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, this isn't about me.
No. I
No.
mean, yeah. So anyway, but the way that I was going to undercut, the law stuff or whatever.
Yes.
It's like, I feel like I can be really good at strategy and like games and stuff.
What do you mean games?
Like, meaning, I don't know that I agree that it was a function of how smart I was that I went to wherever for school.
Oh.
I think it was more that I was like, this is what needs to happen.
I see.
Here's how I need to make it happen.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And so, to be honest with you, so comedy is very much like a, second act or whatever for me.
Ooh.
And I feel like because of that and because of the way that I approached my first career, which was so like eye-rolly, like success oriented,
Yeah.
that I remember when I first started comedy that I was like, I don't want to feel like I'm just trying to like achieve things.
Yeah.
Because that's like not the point of life. And certainly I would argue not the point of something as fun as comedy. Like to squeeze all the joy out of it.
Right. So do you feel like you were pressured into law or something, or was it something you weren't really in love with?
Well, I mean, I have a joke that it's like, I feel like the real reason I went to law school is because my dad, who was from Latvia, would be like, nobody can take your education away from you. I'm like, does anyone want it?
Was he a first generation American?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, he was like, I mean, he's not alive anymore, but he.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. You did it. But
No,
I'm kidding. So I brought you to the park to accuse you. No, he came to the United States when he was 26.
Wow.
He died when he was 73.
Wow.
So he was here for like whatever that is. Like,
It's like 50 years.
Yeah.
Almost.
And, but he spoke with an accent that would suggest he arrived like earlier that morning.
That's
It was
hilarious.
really intense.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
That's
so,
funny.
but,
And so there's pressure
yeah.
on him for you to.
I think it's just like, you want your kids to be safe.
Yeah.
I think that's what it came from.
Yeah.
For him and my mom, who didn't appear as foreign and wasn't. Like, she grew up on Long Island and whatever, but she technically is an immigrant because her both of my grandparents, both grandparents, both sides, Holocaust survivors.
Wow.
And, I think that my parents' like main bond to each other was like no one else could understand that level of inherited trauma.
I would imagine, yeah.
And
I wonder if that was a common thing.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I think that for them, everything was about survival.
Right.
And so, it's like, listen, you got to have a profession to make it in this country and whatever. And the thing is, like, I don't think they're wrong. Like, I joke about it and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, I wouldn't have been able to financially support myself the first few years of comedy without,
Yeah.
that background. And so it's not like, I don't like resent it. you know?
Right. Yeah, and it probably gave
In
you like a
earnest.
really good work ethic too.
I guess, although...
I mean, you got 2 degrees
Yeah.
in 4 years, right?
Yes, yeah, during college. But like, yeah, I think that's right. But I also was really, especially at the beginning of comedy, like almost like having the rebellion I never had as a kid or whatever. So I think it was both. Like,
Okay.
yeah, because I know other comedians who, you know, either were lawyers or were on Wall Street or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
And I feel like at least some of them bring to their comedy a kind of like administrative prowess that suggests that they had an office job.
Right.
That my style or whatever suggests I've never worked a day in my life.
Bro, okay.
You know, like kind of thing.
Do you feel like there's a bond between comics that came from that world?
I don't know.
Almost like your grandparents?
I don't know, maybe.
I mean, a different type of bond, obviously.
Yeah, totally.
not trying to compare that.
Law
Those-
of the Holocaust.
No,
That's
no.
what you're saying.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because it's also like, I actually don't know anyone who has my specific background, because like I taught most of it.
Yeah.
Most of my law career.
Wow.
And so that's a good gig because I was full time.
Yeah.
But like, you know, and professors would get so annoyed if I were to say this, but like, you have a lot of free time.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, don't even dare say that
Really?
in front of an academic. They're like, we work very hard.
But really?
We don't get the summers off. I'm like, I don't know about that. But
They do get the summers off though, don't they?
yeah, but don't say that to them.
Well, why?
Because they're like, we're writing.
Did
we're
you
and I'm
see-
not saying they're not. Maybe I wasn't. Or sometimes I was.
Let's
I
go
don't know.
left. Did
Yeah.
you see that movie with Paul Giamatti? What was it? The Handovers? The Hangover?
Oh, I didn't. The holdovers. I didn't see
That's
it.
it. That's it.
Was that like
Hangovers.
that?
Well, he was like a professor,
Hangovers.
like on vacation. Well, it was like a
Okay.
high school teacher, but
Got it.
I don't know if there was.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
I'll
cool.
watch it.
Yeah, you should give it a watch. So, do you remember the first time you did stand up?
Yeah. It was actually, so we're recording this, not to spoil the fun, but it's March 7th. I know we don't like to say that on
No, you can
podcasts.
say it. You can
Oh,
say.
God, but
There's
what
no
will they
secrets.
think if they knew that it was March 7th? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But March 5th, 2 days ago, which is why I mentioned the date, is my stand-up anniversary.
Whoa, congrats.
And
Happy
it's
anniversary.
been, thank you, Marcus, 11 years.
Oh my
and now
gosh.
2 days. Oh, look, that says Gay Street.
Oh, I
I'm
love
gay.
it. Are you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so 11 years ago, and I didn't like plan to do it. It was more like somebody was like, hey, have you ever thought of doing this? I was like, no.
Really? Someone just
Yeah.
came up to you and was like, hey.
Well,
No, you
not
should
like
try.
came up to me on the street,
Oh,
but
okay.
like came up to me. Imagine what I
do stand up.
yeah. Yeah, that would really be something.
Yeah.
But what if it was Natasha?
The world needs your jokes. Yeah,
Yeah,
Natasha.
totally. But anyway, it was I had taken an improv class because I was
UCB?
it was at the old IO Chicago.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, near Wrigley Field when it
Sure.
used to be there.
Yeah.
So and I did that because like everything in my life when I was teaching at that time, this was when I was 4 years in, was like directed at like getting tenure.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
the goal, right?
Yeah. And I was just like, I don't want anything that's like so goal oriented. I just wanted to like do something like wacky and fun and
Yeah.
and I was always like funny.
Uh-huh.
You know, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not saying like whatever.
Were you like the class clown?
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Were you dropping jokes in your teaching?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Like when I was a first year teacher, I was 27.
Wow.
And I get out of class one day. This is a side story.
I love a side story.
Thank you.
You're
Same. But I get out of class, and one of my colleagues, who were, you know, is like an old, scary man, intimidating is
Yeah.
what I mean. And he was like, Liz, what are you doing in there in class? It sounds like a comedy club. And I was horrified because I'm like, they're going to fire me.
Oh, right.
They're not going to think I'm serious enough.
Yeah.
But now I look back, I'm like, I can't believe I wasn't recording those sets.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what was I saying
Yeah.
in property class that was getting like
That's
laughs
so funny.
in a basically soundproof room?
Do you remember any of them? Any of like the jokes you would do?
You know, kind of. what I remember, first of all, like I did a lot of riffing.
Oh, nice.
You know, because it's like just the in between to keep it fresh, to keep it fun.
Of course.
So I don't remember those things necessarily. But I remember, in order to explain some concepts in property law, I did have like whole, effectively, bits. You know?
Yeah.
Because it's like, ultimately, in order to understand the law, in order to understand a case, like, especially after you've taught it a few times, not that, I mean, this was my first year, but, so it was like new joke night every
I love that.
Every
That's so
week.
cool.
But,
and I'm sure the people in your class were like, oh, this is great because we're learning, we're laughing.
Right.
Learning, laughing.
Yeah, I hope,
Trying to think of a third thing that starts with an L.
Loving.
Loving. Ooh, learning, laughing, loving. Learn, laugh, love.
But yeah, so I had that, and I don't know, like I wasn't class clown, but I was like always thoughtful and funny.
I like that.
With friends, I guess.
That's cool.
And yeah. So that. And anyway, then I'm in this, you know, fourth year of teaching away, because I worked in New York, but as you said, I visited in Chicago for a number of semesters.
Yes.
And during the first of them, took this improv class. Then during a later of them, was having coffee with the teacher from the improv class when she was like, I think you should do stand-up.
Wow.
And then I was like, no. And she's like, well, I'll put you on my show.
Oh.
And then I still said no.
Oh.
Yeah.
The stage time is pretty important. You're like, nah.
Well, basically, I mean, because I really wasn't interested. I had met with her because I thought, like, she wasn't teaching anymore, but I was like, could we just do like one-on-one improv? Which sounds like innuendo, but I really meant it as like, I just think you're so amazing and talented and fearless that like, if you would teach me how to be that way.
Oh, wow.
That would be amazing.
Some good life skills at that point?
I don't know. Like, I just thought she was cool.
Do you remember her name?
Yeah, Lindsay Haley. She's amazing.
Is she still doing it?
I don't know that she's still teaching, but she's like still performing.
Oh, that's cool.
She's amazing.
In Chicago, you think?
I think she may live in LA now.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah. So she's awesome. But, and totally changed my life, because then she said to me, she's like, well, a lot of people would really want this invitation.
Yeah.
And she's right. And now I know that. And at the time I was like, well, I like things that a lot of people want.
Yeah.
So, which isn't like necessarily, I don't know, maybe it's a gross reason, but I did it. And I loved it.
Did you write a set for that first time?
Okay, so I wrote some stuff.
It sounded like you knew I was going to ask this question.
Well, no. Yeah, but it did, right?
Yeah.
I wrote some stuff, and thankfully I didn't say it.
Oh.
Because I don't think it would have been good.
Okay, so what did you do?
I was so nervous, which is very me. I'm a nervous wreck, always. And I was nervous the day of the show. And so I called my friend Abby, who has a lot of performance experience. She's been on the main stage of Second City. She's amazing. Whatever. Abby Scher is her name. She's a great writer and performer. So
Abby.
Yeah, truly. And so I said to her, I was like, I'm so nervous. She's like, okay, just say something vulnerable at the beginning and then it'll be fine. And I hang up and I'm like, okay, got it. And then I'm like, fuck, how are you gonna, like, how does one be vulnerable?
Right.
Because like, they don't teach you how to do that in law school.
Right.
And so then I was freaking out again. Then I'm about to leave for the theater. There's a package at my door and I didn't order anything. Okay.
I follow.
And I was obviously like a million years early to leave. And so I'm like, okay, I have time to open this and then I'll go to the show right after. Come into the house, take out a scissor, about to open the package, until then I realized, I'm like, oh, one way to be vulnerable is to not know the answer to something. I don't know what's in this package.
All right.
I'll open it on stage.
Oh, that's really smart.
Thanks, I have my moments. And so
that's funny. It's like an unboxing video live.
Before,
right?
This was in 2013.
Before unboxing videos.
I mean, I don't know, maybe, I don't know when they started, I guess, but.
No, I think that's, you might have started it. You might have started the unboxing trend.
So.
Isn't it silly that people watch those?
I think so. I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean,
Right?
Side note. Yeah, go ahead.
Totally.
Sorry. Continue.
That is a side note. Like, I wonder if my daughter will be like, Mommy, did you find these entertaining? Like, in however many years, hopefully.
Yeah.
But like,
But do you have a kid?
yeah.
You have a daughter?
Yeah.
How old is she?
She's 9 months old.
Oh my gosh, incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So, thanks. She doesn't speak yet exactly. She says.
She's 9 months old.
No, I know, but I'm saying like she's talking in the.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she says hi.
Oh.
Here's how she says it. She's like, hi.
Oh my gosh.
And
so
but
cute.
we know it's hi because like, then you'll say hi and she'll be like, hi.
Yeah, that's so cute.
It's amazing.
I love that.
So anyway,
So you got it. You're like,
So
I'm gonna open it up on stage.
I'm gonna open it on stage, and I do. And it turned out what was in it was 18 vinyl suit covers. So like, you know, if you were hanging a suit in the
Oh
closet,
yeah.
there's like plastic that
Yeah.
goes on the shoulders. So my mom had been at my apartment a couple weeks earlier, noticed that one of my cats, Mona, who's since passed,
Oh.
she has a brother, Jack, who, thank God, going strong.
Really? Jack
Yeah.
must be old.
He is 16.
Wow.
Yeah, we also think that Eloise, my daughter, says Jack.
Oh.
Because she kind of, Jack, Jack.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
I'm sure she probably is saying
Yeah,
it.
because we're like, Jack, Jack.
Yeah.
So anyway, Baruch Hashem, whatever, poo, poo, poo. So, okay.
Don't know what that was, but that's all right.
Yeah. You don't know poo, poo, poo?
What's that?
It's like, you know, knock on wood.
Oh, okay. No, I
Yeah.
don't know, but now I do.
Yeah. So, oh, here's a tree.
There you go.
I'm Jewish, but I hedge my bets. So
Oh, are
anyway,
Jewish people not supposed to knock on wood?
well, I mean, I guess it's like, you know, the cross.
Oh, is that why? People knock
think
on
so.
wood because of the cross
I
is
don't
made of
really
wood?
know exactly.
Ah.
If you do know, put it in the comments.
Yeah.
So, anyway, but what do you call it? Mona, the cat,
Yeah.
white, fluffy.
Oh, I love
Jack
a good
is
white
too.
fluffy cat.
Yeah. She would go in my closet on top of my suits, and then my suits would get white fur
Oh,
all over them. And my mom is like, Elizabeth, you look like a cat. You can't, you have to get suit covers.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, mommy, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And so she knew I wouldn't get them, so she sent them for me
uh-huh.
and didn't tell me. And then I'm on stage. And I think the reason that it worked, I mean, I think like 18 vinyl suit covers, like, you know,
Yeah,
not funny.
Yeah, that's funny.
Right. But in addition to that, it was like I lost all self-consciousness because and I just had to tell the audience about like, okay, I teach school.
Yeah.
I wear these clothes.
That's perfect because
right.
you're telling
Here's
them
about my
real
mom.
truth
Here's about my
it.
cat. You know,
Right.
and right, exactly. And then it was funny. And so, yeah. And then after that, I mean, I was on such fumes for like a week after.
bet.
I was like, it was in my head like I had killed at sold out Madison Square
Oh
Garden.
my God.
I mean, it was basically like a camp bunk, you know.
I love it.
But yeah, and I didn't like quit right away, but that kind of got me started like thinking about it.
Uh-huh. That kind of like lit the flame, right?
Yeah.
And so did it go, how do you think that first time went? It was mostly all improvised.
Yeah, and that went really good.
Good.
And it was also in an improv theater.
Okay. Oh,
So I
that's
think, like,
nice.
you know,
And you probably
nice
had like
crowd.
beats, like you probably
I
knew.
did naturally.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The next week also went well. That
You
one
did it
I
again?
have- yeah, because it was a 2-show.
Did someone have to send you another package?
No.
Okay.
But I mean, I had other stuff, but I kind of at that point I was like, okay, so it's like I have some stuff, but it's improvised
Yeah.
and like whatever. And yeah, so I did like a version of that, but it was all new again. And honestly, I didn't know, like I've heard people say this, but like I also say it,
Yeah.
is that I didn't know you were allowed to repeat for the first like a few years.
Yeah. I mean, you can still repeat, right?
Yeah. No, but I didn't know it. That's
Yeah.
I didn't.
You
I
thought
didn't
it was
know-
one and done.
I thought so.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, because I never meant to do stand-up, so it wasn't like I was like, oh, well, here's how I'll do it.
Yeah, because in improv, you wouldn't
Yeah.
like try to
Correct.
repeat the same
Right.
improv, right?
Yeah. And so,
Makes sense.
to be honest, like now, I guess this is the way. in all things probably, that like you sort of end up how you started a little bit.
Yeah.
Or like you come back around.
I get that. Yeah.
Right? And maybe like you come back around in a sort of revised, more learned way, having experienced new things and gained skills and whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's equal parts of me that are excited, number one, about like crafting a set.
Yes.
And having this is the thing,
Uh-huh.
but also equally to be available to stimuli in the room.
Yeah.
So that if something else is like more compelling in the moment, I can trust myself to follow that instinct.
That's so cool.
And I don't mean by that I'm necessarily like gonna hit a home run or even a base hit every time.
Right.
I can definitely strike out.
Yeah, you can't hit a home run every night. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Right, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, at
like,
least you're going up to bat.
Yeah, and like, I don't know, just like, I guess what I mean to say is that I recognize some of the elements that I thought were necessary at the very beginning. I've come to appreciate even now that I know better.
Got it.
Yeah.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
and I think
thanks.
that's an interesting way of actually breaking into stand-up.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of people come from the improv world.
Right.
Especially Chicago, such a big
Sure.
improv. You
Yeah.
got Second City,
Yeah,
IO.
yeah, huge, yeah.
Yeah, it's a
It's a big deal there.
It's a huge deal.
Yeah,
And
and it's so good.
I mean, Amy Poehler.
Yeah.
I mean, Pete, like so many people.
Sure.
Kumail started in Chicago, stand-ups.
Yeah.
I think John Mulaney started in Chicago.
Uh-huh.
It's wild.
Yeah. I love improv. I love TJ and Dave.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
I
ever
mean,
do improv? Like,
yeah.
like still today, do you ever do it?
I don't. I mean, yeah, because I just like did a couple levels and
Yeah.
stuff. And,
Yeah.
you know, I wasn't like on a team or anything like that. Did you do improv?
I did UCB for like just
amazing.
like one like level and
Yeah. Oh, I did that too, actually, when I moved here.
yeah, it was kind of fun.
Yeah, totally.
Padma from Top Chef was in my class.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was like
I once
2009.
saw her in an elevator. It was
Did you?
just us. Yeah.
Wow, did you say
We
anything?
did a scene. No, I'm just kidding.
And
No, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I didn't.
that's pretty cool.
I hope I didn't. I asked her to sign my vocab book.
she wrote her name or
Yeah.
your name. She wrote your name.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Do you? So what was the? Can we talk about the Boston Comedy Festival?
Yeah, I did it on Zoom though.
This was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So this is fairly recently.
2020.
Okay.
Yeah,
And so how? So you had to do your whole set on Zoom.
I sure did. Yeah.
And did you hear people laughing? Did they have like mics on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a lot of rectangles.
Yeah.
Especially for the finals, you know?
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, the thing is, like, okay, so stand up on Zoom, obviously, like, not ideal.
Right. No.
Right? No, I don't
No.
think anybody's like, this is the better way.
This is art, baby.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually it is like a weird kind of performance art.
Yeah.
Don't you think? Like Zoom
Yeah.
comedy.
Yeah, I think it can be. And there certainly were like a lot of people, or at least like a notable few, like Danny Jollis had like really interesting, funny bits that like would only work on Zoom. I'm sure there were
Interesting.
other people too, but we did a lot of Zoom shows together and I was like in awe. I mean,
That's
he's
cool.
great, but also like specifically during that time, I had the opportunity to work with him a bunch.
Yeah.
And was like very, very impressed by his embrace of the medium. Morgan Jay is another
Oh, Morgan J. I know Morgan.
person,
Yeah.
who really like took Zoom to a new level. I was like, I did regular stand-up,
Yeah.
and I did it on Zoom, and I think, like, so, it was interesting because number one, I did a lot of it.
Okay.
I think the reason I did a lot of it is because that's when I started doing corporates and law schools.
Yeah.
Because friends of mine were like, hey, do you mind getting on Zoom and like just being you for like an hour?
Yeah.
Because people are really sad.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, totally. So,
Nice.
right. So anyway, I started doing that and now I do more of that stuff in person and that's great
Cool,
and whatever,
yeah.
fine. But in addition, so number one, I did it a lot. And number two, I think that at that time, around 2019, 2020, I was like having this moment in my own figuring out my voice process, I guess, where in the beginning, I was all shooting from the hip. Then I'm like, no, we gotta write and memorize.
Yeah.
And I think that I was at this point where I'm like, but wait, I'm now able to do the write and memorize, but I'm not like a person.
Right.
And I need to be more conversational.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that. It's like somehow like not happening in my sets. And then the pandemic hit, and I think because of like gallery view and the delay, I was able to do like a chiropractic in effect on my way of doing stand-up, where I started to have a more conversational effect because of the nature of the medium, that I think like
I never
has
thought
helped
about
me.
that.
Yeah.
That's pretty inspiring. I mean, that's cool.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It just sort of happened to work out that way because like that was sort of what I was experiencing at the time.
Yeah.
And I think that was probably why I was excited to do it more.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, this is like actually like really interesting and helpful to me.
Sure.
Like as, you know, building skills and getting better in ways that I want to and whatever. And I seem to be pretty good at it.
Yeah.
So, you know, whatever.
That's so cool. I remember doing a bunch of like Zoom shows, and I was doing like juggling shows at the time.
Oh, yeah.
For colleges and stuff.
Okay.
And so at first I started like rearranging the furniture in my small 1-bedroom living room.
Love.
To make it look like more production value. You
Oh,
know,
I thought you meant on camera.
No,
I'm like,
no.
I'd watch that.
No, I had no like to start, so it looked
Sure.
like I was in like some type of performance space.
Okay.
But then I realized that I couldn't mask the fact that I was in my apartment.
Oh, yeah.
So I just embraced it. Then
Sure.
I used those obstacles to kind of help the show.
Yeah.
And it was kind of fun that way.
That
I
is
think
really fun.
gotta just embrace the stuff that, you know, that makes it harder. You know what I mean? You
Yeah, totally.
like, you know, lean into that a little bit.
Yeah, now that we're having this conversation, another person I thought who did a really, really great job on Zoom was Harrison Greenbelt, who's also amazing in general.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Talkie-walkie alum.
Oh, great. I'll have to watch that up.
Yeah, he's fun.
Yeah, he's so fun and so great in general, obviously. Okay, now my ride's really here.
Wait, where did you park? Over here?
I parked on 80th.
Oh, okay. We're walking up there.
Yeah.
Where are we? 70. All right.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good. I'm eating my hair today for some reason.
Oh, is it good?
No, it doesn't taste good.
Yeah.
I hate when you get a hair down your throat.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that bad?
I imagine that Eloise has that.
Oh.
Yeah, because she's a hair puller. Babies, I think, are in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did you meet your wife?
Oh, I thought you were going to say, where'd you meet your baby?
No.
Oh, you know. I met her through a friend.
Okay.
A friend I knew from high school.
Oh,
actually.
really?
Yeah. Who was friends with her. And, introduced us, and we met that way.
Oh, that's cool.
And we met, like, physically in the city for a date on July 2nd of 2017.
Wow.
Yeah. And I don't think any of my passwords are that day. Because as I'm saying that, do you have that, like, especially whenever I'm, like, somehow on the internet? Because I grew up with parents, you know, again, Holocaust Central.
Right.
Where it's like my mother, the way that's why I think I always think that's for me.
Yeah.
Right?
I get it.
But my mother acts in a regular conversation like her lawyer advised her not to say more.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I think it's like due to that kind of upbringing that she had, because I was in the car with Ashley Austin Morris, wonderful comedian.
Yeah.
We were like driving, my mom came to a show, we were driving Ashley on the way back. And Ashley, sorry,
No, it's good. These mics still pick it up.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So Ashley asked my mom, like having never met her, making conversation.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, so did you grow up in New Jersey?
Uh-huh.
Also.
Yeah.
And my
Fair
mom,
question.
a totally fair question.
Totally fair.
And also a totally open-ended question that's like truly for the purpose of making conversation and getting
Yes.
to know someone.
Absolutely.
And being nice.
Yes.
And my mom, in response to, did you also grow up in New Jersey, is just like, no. And doesn't say anything more. And I'm like, Mommy,
Yeah.
like, you grew up on Long Island.
Yeah.
You then moved to New Jersey when whatever. And it's like,
Start feeding her lines.
yeah.
Like it's
But-
Impractical Jokers. Like, now tell her this.
Right. And so anyway, so I forgot exactly what happened. Oh yeah, with the day that Karen and I met, it's not any passwords.
Okay,
Because
that's good to know.
I feel like my parents would be like, don't tell, don't give details.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm parked over here.
I like this, curb your anti-Semitism.
Oh yeah.
Interesting. Do you watch Curb?
Yeah.
Did you see the one where Richard Lewis, who just passed away, was doing? You caught up?
No.
Okay, then I'm not going to spoil anything.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. But there's a part where you mentioned doing stand-up.
Yeah.
At the schools you're working at.
Yeah.
But there's a part in like one of the last couple episodes where Richard Lewis does stand-up at a place you wouldn't suspect.
Oh.
He like sneaks in his stand-up.
Oh,
Just
interesting.
watch it, but it made me think of that.
Okay,
It's really,
cool.
really funny.
Yeah, I'm doing stand-up at a law firm in like a couple hours.
In a couple hours in the
Yeah,
city?
in New Jersey.
Oh,
actually.
okay, very cool.
Yeah, well, I don't mean it like I'm not pressed for time, but like, I think I got to be there at like 5:30.
That's exciting.
Sure, but just like, you wouldn't think necessarily that would be a venue.
Well, hey, I love it. I mean, I
Yeah.
do Subway on the train.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, I do stand-up
Yeah,
on the
I
train.
knew what you meant.
I do
Yeah.
Subway on the train.
Wow, Subway
I
on
do-
the train, I
that's
wouldn't
right.
imagine.
I try to do stand-up anywhere I can. I just
Yeah.
need to get better. So
Yeah, same. Totally.
Well,
You're
Liz,
great.
Thanks for doing Talkie Walkie.
Oh, thanks, Marcus.
Love to have you.
Totally.
Where can
same.
people find you? And
Well, I'm parked right now at 68th East 80th because
Yes.
69 East 80th was full, but I did get the credit of $25.12. No, I imagine
Sorry.
those are all my passwords also. But anyway, no, you can find me dearlizglazer.com, at Liz Glazer on any platform, and
tons of videos online.
yeah.
Check
So,
her out. Come see a show.
Thanks.
Sometimes we're on shows together.
Isn't that the best when we are?
Love it. I love it.
I love being on shows with you.
I love being on shows with you too, and I love being
Yeah.
on shows just with like cool people, like friends
Same.
of mine, and like
Yeah.
it's New York's like the best. I mean,
It
there's
is.
a lot of good comedy towns.
Sure,
But like
totally.
New York is such a cool community.
It really is.
Like you never know who you're gonna run into. It's just one of those
Facts.
great times. But everyone, check out Liz.
Check out Marcus.
Yeah, Talkie Walkie. We did it.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and or watch another one. Watch another video. Could be fun. I don't know. Could be cool. You're already this far. You're